What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Neil and this is my very special, very dear to me, 2001 Mk4 Golf. This is the car we're going to be kicking off the restoration series with. Plenty of cars around the workshop that we got to do similar sort of stuff to. But this is the one that I've decided is going to be top of the list. So as you might be able to tell by the colour, this is not a standard Mk4 Golf. This is what they call a colour concept edition. So in addition to this snazzy rave green pearl paint that you can see on the outside, it has got colour matched interior. So the seats, door cards, bits of trim are all coloured green as well. Bit garish, but I like it. This model is also available in 4 other colours. So they've got the green like this one, they've got the blue, the red, the yellow and the black.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
From what I gather, it's quite a rare spec. For some reason, I've seen some yellow versions of this. I've seen a couple of red ones, but I've never actually seen a green one in person. I know they exist. I've heard of them. They're obviously in the brochure. I'm very keen to keep this one on the road, get it back to the condition it should be, basically. This one is a 130 brake standard PD 130 engine. This vehicle is not standard anymore. I've modified it quite a lot over the years. It's running roughly 280 brake horsepower. It's got a high lift cam, it's got bigger injectors, it's got GTB 2260 turbo, similar sort of size to what's in the Audi 3-litre V6 engines. It's got a limited slip diff. I've done plenty to it. Okay, so now she's up on the ramp, we can really have a look underneath and start to see how much rust has set into this vehicle over the years. Starting on this rear driver's sill, you can see just how bad the rust has got, all the way into this inner sill area, down the outer sills, all needs repairing. So we're going to cut all that rust out, treat the inside, weld in a new panel, get it all looking nice and solid again. The rust has started to set in all the way along this panel, up into this area. You can see where the floor section here has come away from the inner sill. So that all needs re-welding in. This part is just completely separate now. And as you come along to the front, you can see where the jacking point's been affected. This here is where it's been jacked up in the past, all bent out of shape just because there's no strength in there anymore. And from the inside, you can see that the rust has really gotten in between these panels, all the way along this side as well. The left-hand side isn't actually as bad. I haven't stripped this side down completely yet, but you can see here, it's just under seal holding that metal together. A little bit more solid through the middle, but as we get down to the back, there's definitely some rust in this area. Underneath this under seal, you can see just there. You can probably hear that as well. Where I've had the axle out already, I've had the tank out, I've replaced these brake pipes, so these ones running front to back, all with new copper. That's all been done. Gonna go for new shock absorbers and springs. Nothing wrong with these springs, they've just gone rusty, so I might see if I can get them powder coated. Managed to get all of these spot welds drilled out, so we've got all of these ones here where this panel and then the inner sill are welded together. They put spots here, just to attach the two together. We drilled all those out, so the 2 panels are now separate. So we're going to cut all the way along here, take this panel out, see what we're looking at behind, and see what else needs doing. Right then, so after lots of fighting, I've managed to get the inner sill piece out. So this panel is one panel that sits in that gap. You can see the clean patch. That piece is removable. We've taken all those spot welds out of these, all of the spot welds out, all the way along the floor. Same on this side, just behind the jacking piece, you can get these spot welds out, and the piece of metal just sits over the top of that one. This is the panel that's come out. So that's the bottom of it. You can see all of my spot welds I've taken off, the worst of the rust here in the middle. And from here, can see that the rust has built up lovely on the inside, so that'll be underneath the car. The water comes down and it'll sit on this surface and sit in this little channel here, which is what rust's at. So from the other side, you look at this and think, oh, that's quite clean, nice metal. Turn it over, and the rust has already started to take a hold on the other side. So this part here would have started out looking nice, rusted through from the inside, makes its way onto the outside. And then this is the outer sill piece that I cut off from this side here. You can see it's all exposed now. This piece, these two connect and they sit together like that. So that's what it would look like from underneath before. And then when you turn it over, you can really get an idea of where the rust comes from, because the water sits all along here, and in this channel where they're pushed together, the water can get in that gap and it will just sit there for years and years on end, rusting away. So most of the rust grows out of this gap. That's why the bits under here look the worst. So now we can get a good idea of what needs sorting. So this part here is all clean. These bits aren't too bad. I might see if I can replace this side of things, maybe take it up inside of there and see if I can sort this bit of rust. But that'll be a new panel all the way in here, and then we'll get the new sill, which is all of this will be replaced. And so that'll probably cut up to about this level, just under the doorstep. Might even go into here, see what it looks like when it comes. But this all will be replaced, and I should be able to straighten out this jacking point, pull that down, get it nice and flat, because this piece of metal is quite thick. I reckon that'll be savable. So once this is all straightened out, we can weld the three pieces together and it should be strong again. Now I'll cut a bit of extra metal away from this sill so you can see inside this rear section where the jacking point is. You can see inside here there's a lot of rust taken hold, so this definitely needs sorting out and re-strengthening. Main bit I want to sort is this end cap, so that's the bit on the back of the sill in here. The sill goes up to this. You can see the rust in here. There's actually a hole in that bit there, you can just about see it. And then the piece that is here, that's on the rear, you can see it's rusted away onto that corner. So there's actually three pieces welded together. You got this one that goes into there, you got this one that goes into there as well. And then you've got this inside brace, which is the main part of the inner sill. So that bit there you can see is rusted away, would normally come down to here with a bit like this. They'd have these things on the bottom. So I can bent this one out of the way, just gonna clean up this, gonna replace this bottom section in here. And then we can get to replacing this part with the lower bit. Then we're gonna sort out this bit, weld them all together, and that should be nice and strong. And then this is what it looks like now. So I've cut off the offending pieces, managed to, in the end, cut off this piece here because the rust had actually gone in between this plate and this plate. So all the way along here, in between the plates, where the spot welds was really badly rusted. So I decided to cut that one out. I've done the same with the corner piece here that was missing. Then this piece I've cut out as well to replace. And I actually ended up going so far as to remove the jacking point strengthening plate. So I've drilled the spot welds out here. I've actually drilled out more than I wanted to just because the access wasn't brilliant. But most of the metal that's good is still there. And then the reason I took the jacking plate out is because I started to clean it up now, but you can see where the rust was beginning to grow inside the plate. So that jacking plate sits just under there, like that. And the rust was growing in between here and here. So on the back of that plate, you can see the rust was in there. So that's something that needs sorted. It's typical of when these cars, you start to look at them and they appear to be solid. So that piece there, I thought I'd just clean at the front, not realizing that the rust was in between. So that rust would have grown out of here, carried on growing up here, and it could have meant I had problems in the future. So it's best to sort that now while we got it all apart, make sure it is strong for the future.
My maid got a broom, my house got a room for some rooms with a view. I'm driving real slow like I'm running on fumes. I'm driving real slow like I'm running on fumes. 30 on the dash. Yeah, we riding slow, but that money moving fast. Look at all this cash. Yeah, we riding slow, gotta watch this one be passed. Some money in the air like you really don't care, oh yeah. But that money moving fast. Money in the air like you really don't care, oh yeah. Yeah, we riding slow, gotta watch this one be passed. I just put your mortgage on my neck, and you looking teed off like a golfer, you upset. Why you mad? Why you mad? Tell him why you mad. If you need a loan, you should probably just ask. we only doing 30, ain't no hurry about it. Bust down for my bust down, carrots and the clarity. They tell me that I'm giving like I opened up a charity. 30 on the dash. Yeah, we ride it slow, but that money moving fast. Look at all this cash. Yeah, we ride it slow, gotta watch us when we pass. Throw some money in the air like you really don't care, oh yeah. But that money moving fast. Throw some money in the air like you really don't care, yeah, we ride it slow, gotta watch us when we pass. M-O-N-E ride, you know I say fly, cause I'm that guy. I be doing 30 and then 55, and you know why. Top down bass, bumping out the tweeters. Told these groupies get it grip like some tweezers. I don't see you now. I don't need you if you're trying to tell me dry though. No, they lying, they can look me in my eyes.
Right then, now we've got the wings off, you can see better onto this corner of the sill over here. Also managed to take the door off as well. Pretty easy job, just 2 bolts, 1 bolt up there, and there's a little plug just in there to get that off. We want to cut this panel too to get the new one on. So I've got the new one here. I've cut it down to roughly the right size. Just going to adjust this bit because I don't really want to replace what I don't need to. So all of this door step I'm going to leave in place because there's no rust inside it. It's actually pretty sound. So the only bit I really want to get rid of is just this section here. So I'll cut it a little bit further up than what I have at the moment. And then we can make sure that the stuff that's inside the sill is all solid. And then we can replace the floor section I cut out the other day. Yeah, and get it all strong again.
Okay, let's set the roof on fire. Step by step, raise the whole room higher. Pick up your step, don't try hard. Down, up, down, like a boom bap choir. Turn down the beat, raise up the heat. Kick up your feet like this, like that. Word on the street says you got the heat, so let's see you move like this, like that. Real big stepper, better make it rain, you might need an umbrella. Whoa, a little spice, put a pepper. Boy, it's just a game, I ain't being sentimental. Get in position, I got a good intuition, I gotta move with precision.
Here we are then, so it's looking a lot better than it did before. Cleaned up this part of the sill, got rid of the paint and the glue from there. Started to prepare this middle part just to get rid of some of the rust, and then I've also removed the jacking point from here. That's this strengthening plate that would normally sit in there just to give you a bit of extra strength when you jack the car up. Reason being, a lot of rust build up between this plate and this plate. Taking it out, so the only way to get to it. And then the top part that would normally be welded onto there, along here, had rusted away completely. So I'm going to replace that one. And then it also gives me better access to the top of this part. I don't really want to take that one off because there's a lot of it. It's quite difficult to get to. So I thought if I can get to it from this way, I can clean it, treat it, and then weld this one back in. I've also decided to replace this, so it's actually quite badly rusted. It's quite thick metal, so it would probably do the job, but I thought while I'm there, I can make a new one. So I've used the old one as a template, knocked up this one, fairly good. It's about as close as I can get it. So I'm gonna weld this one in place of that one, which should go there, which will give me a nice boost to the strength of the sill. And then once that one is in, I can then focus on getting this bottom section put in. That's this one here. So that's the new panel that's going to go on the inside. And that means that once that one's in, I've got a bit of a reference as to where I can replace the metal here. So where that one would sit in just there, means I can replace this metal and have something to weld it to once I know what's going on. Exciting stuff.
Did a bit more cleaning on this area here. I'll just give you a bit of a closer look at what it is I'm replacing. So the middle section of the sill here comes down, and the spot welds for the inner and outer sit on these little drop down bits. And you can see they're still there, but there's a lot of rust. So in these areas, they're very thin. There's not a lot left of them. So I'm going to cut them off along here, and I'm actually going to replace them with these little sections that I've built. So I'm going to do that for this section here, and then I've got some more to replace everything that's missing along here. And that'll give me a clean middle section to start putting the spot welds through from the bottom here, and then the outer sill can weld through these gaps. And then with the lower section quickly clamped in, you can see where the welds would be, and you can sort of see what I'm trying to replace.
I got it booming. Stats going up, we all going dumb, not stupid. Trying to keep up with me, I told them all that it's foolish. I heard this song and I turn it right down, it's muted. I had to do it myself, damn, now it's all booming. Said it's impossible, I had to go out and do it. It's getting hot, yeah, now it's humid. Feeling like Floyd, I'm 50 and no, can't dispute it. I had to do it myself, damn, now it's all booming. Told them get out of the kitchen, I'm chefing it now. They try to start with me, dog, while I'm ending it now. They used to laugh at me, dog, who is laughing right now? I got M's in the bank, I got M's in these streams, so they text on my phone and they begging me now. I don't got time for it now. Feeling like step when I ball. They try to get to me now. I cannot let them at all. I ain't wearing nothing on the wrist. That's just how I started, I can switch. I just told myself that's how it is. I just pull the clutch and I can miss. Trying to tell me everything I know. If they get a shot, they bout to choke. I was looking at them from the back. Now I'm looking back and they ain't close. I got it booming. Stats going up, we all going dumb, not stupid.
And there we go. That's just about all I've got time for today. Pretty happy with today's progress. Managed to get all this welded in, looking pretty strong. All I've got to do now is just prime it and make sure it doesn't rust again. Apart from that, we're good to go. So stick around for the next episode.
So annoying, what do I say?
Stats going up, we all going dumb, not stupid.